Welcome. You're tuning into Calligraphy Unscripted. I'm Christy Tony, a calligraphy expert with 16 years of experience. And in this podcast, you can expect storytelling, actionable tips, and mindset hacks to help you along in this discipline. So let's just jump right in and ink up. Welcome back to the Calligraphy Unscripted podcast. This summer is taking off, which is a special time for social calligraphers, as there are scores of people getting married and people having events, and the demand for the work that we provide can feel like it's at an all-time high. Now today I want to tackle ways to make IAMPETH work for you. Now, if you are planning on attending this conference, have a wonderful time. It can be a special experience for a calligrapher. Now, if you have not attended one yet, plan on going to one in the coming years, especially if it turns out to roll up close to your city. The first IAMPETH that I attended was in Milwaukee, and it was literally just like a 2-hour drive up I-65 from Chicago. So it was really exciting to be able to just drive easily to the event that way. Now, IAMPETH is the International Association of Master Penmen, Engrossers, and Teachers of Handwriting. Again, IAMPETH is an acronym that stands for International Association of Master Penmen, Engrossers, and Teachers of Handwriting. Now, it's an organization that cherishes and promotes calligraphy, engrossing, and fine penmanship. Their annual conference is a once-in-a-lifetime event for calligraphers worldwide to connect, learn, and share this passion that we have, which it does a lot of times feel like it's a dying passion. So it's always exciting when you can see so many people like yourself still be interested in the pen arts. Okay. Now, this year's conference is in Scranton, and it is starting on the 17th. So I thought it would be appropriate to just jump on here and kind of talk to people that may be going, or people who may not have ever heard of it, just for a chance to talk about IAMPETH, because it is such an awesome conference, and it's such an experience that I think all of us should have at one point. Now, a more obvious and basic part of having a successful conference experience is deciding what you'd like to take. This is something that can take a while because you want to make sure that you choose the right coursework. And it can be tough because you can have two instructors who are teaching something that you really want. But the good thing is that there is a notebook that they give you at the end. I'm sorry, well, I shouldn't say at the end. They give it to you at the beginning. But you will notice inside the notebook that you will have the lessons for every class. Not just the coursework that you've selected, but also the coursework that maybe you couldn't have gone to. So obviously it's not the same as being in person with that instructor. But at least you do have their words. At least you do have their lesson plan. At least you can see their calligraphy. So it is exciting to be able to see that and have that and be able to take that with you. Now, we all have things that we want to get better at, or we may have had limited exposure to certain things. And, this is the opportunity to get that really irreplaceable experience of a live in-person instructor. Okay? Now, I'm going to share with you some not so obvious things that you can keep in mind that will make IAMPETH work for you. Okay? Now, navigating the marketplace. Now, you want to be disciplined when it comes to the marketplace. I say this all the time when I'm talking about even just going to the art supply store, the things that you need to make sure that you're being careful of, especially if you're an impulsive buyer. You want to take inventory of the things that you already have just to make sure that you're not duplicating purchases. I think that's one of the most underrated things. It's something that we never talk about, but if you're a calligrapher and you're buying a ton of stuff and you've got supplies everywhere and they're not as organized as they could be, you potentially are somebody who buys things over and over because you've forgotten that you have it. So I would be really disciplined when it comes to the marketplaces at IAMPETH because it's open a lot. It's going to be open a lot during the time that you're there, and this is a multi-day event, okay? So just plan your purchases ahead of time, avoid impulse buying, budget for some unexpected finds because there will be some things that you see that you're like, oh my God, I have to have that. That's fine. So budget for those, but try to stay within your means. So seriously, the marketplace is not a place for you to just go when you're bored at the conference. There's a lot of other things that you could do when you get bored at the conference, okay? So number 2, the value of networking. Now, I'm not just talking about networking. Obviously, you're going to meet people. Obviously, you may give them your business card and just say, oh, yeah, I do calligraphy. But, just make sure that you're taking advantage of this opportunity to meet one of your peers. I mean, this is an amazing thing. I mean, a lot of times we meet our peers, but we meet them online and we don't have the opportunity to actually look at them and talk to them and, maybe ink up next to them. That's an exciting time for a calligrapher in our industry, I think. So I would encourage you to stay in touch with your fellow calligraphers, especially those in your market. People that are in your market that do calligraphy, they could potentially be collaborators. They could be a source of inspiration for you. I mean, and just make sure your networking shouldn't stop when the conference does. Stay connected with them, follow them on social media, arrange for meetups. I just think these deeper connections that we have with other calligraphers are really special relationships. So I just wouldn't gloss over that. So there's value in networking, okay? Number 3, making most of the classes. Make the most of the classes. Some of the classes are smaller than others, but most of the lectures, you are going to be shoulder to shoulder with people. There are going to be a lot of you, okay? So just get ready for that. And because it's so many people, even though there are long lines at the end of the class to speak to the instructor, sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of times there'll be long lines. You want to make sure you do stand in that line. What else are you doing? Go ahead and introduce yourself to the instructor. And I ask for feedback on some of what I did in the class. Like I ask right then and there. And, you want brutally honest feedback. You really do. You'll be thankful for the insights that you received from this instructor. And it is an opportunity to sneak in a little one-on-one after you've been in a class where there's literally a sea of calligraphers sitting there and practicing. And accepting the instruction. So that's just a little sneaky leak that I like to do in terms of trying to make the most out of my classes, getting a little feedback, a little bonus one-on-one. Okay, number 4, explore all the activities. Okay, make sure you explore everything. Don't just go to the lectures and then go back to your room with something to eat. Don't just limit yourself to that. You want to participate in the demos. The demos are so much fun just to watch people actually show you how to do something that you may not already know how to do. And it's not just, let me show you this. It's, I've got a handout for you as well. So it is a little bit more in depth and you can watch them do it over and over. So those demos can be exciting. And then also the exhibitions, the social events, and then the study rooms. So much happens in the study rooms where you can really connect with people and really, really work on your craft. Very exciting to do those things. So I would not skip those things. Those are chances to connect. Those are chances for you to learn something outside of your comfort zone, outside of a lecture hall experience. Okay? And number 5, documenting your trip. Now, I'm not talking to the person who's like, oh, I'm sick of these social media. I'm sick of these phone devices. I want to be present. Okay. I hear you. However, you don't know how many IAMPETHs you're going to get a chance to go to. So I would recommend that you do a lot of Instagram stories, because to me personally, Instagram has just become a portfolio app. Okay, Instagram is a portfolio app. That's where you can go. You can see my work. It's broken down in a bunch of highlights, different categories, acrylic, chalk, venues I've lettered at. It's all about showing myself off. That's all Instagram is to me now. It doesn't have a high level of engagement for me. And so, when I want engagement, I go to TikTok, but that's neither here nor there. My point is that Instagram is a perfect place for you to do a bunch of stories about what you've done, maybe day 1, day 2, lectures, demo, put some wording on there, maybe have somebody use your phone so they can get some footage of you and maybe a friend or somebody that you've been wanting to meet, one of these legendary instructors, whatever. But the thing is that you can always put that inside of a highlight that can live on your profile. It's a chance for you to go back and relive your experience. And I do believe it's going to be a great experience for you. So if you don't do anything else, do some social media and capture it inside of stories so that you can always go back later. You don't have to do it then, but you can go back later and all of your stories will be in order, and you can go ahead and curate a little highlight bubble of your IAMPETH experience. Okay, I blogged on my IAMPETH experience, but I do wish that I had done stories. I wasn't as story savvy back when I went. So, but yeah, so that's a wrap on today's episode. I hope you got something out of it. With these hacks, I think you'll be well on your way to maximizing your IAMPETH experience. After you've attended, I'd love to hear about your experience. And also, if you're not already subscribed to this show, make sure you hit that little plus button in Apple Podcasts or follow me in Spotify. And it'll just mean that you'll get each new episode straight to your podcast app every Monday. Okay? So I'll see you soon. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I appreciate you listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out some of my problem-solving content in the show notes, and I'd love to connect with you on socials. I can be found on Patreon, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube under Calligraphy by CT. Until next time.